Hi everybody, I just wanted to jump on, wish you all a happy new year, and I hope it's going well for you. I had some profound thinkings, funny enough, the last couple of days. It's been leading on from lots of questions I've been asking my mind. People always say, different psychics, different mystics, different spiritual practices say that the mind is there, tries to save you. And through my own background of it not saving me at all, my mind has just been hell-bent on harming me. A form of self-harm is what I would call my mind, for sure. Hasn't done anything of any good. But very recently I was watching a Paul McKenna video on YouTube. It was extremely enlightening, extremely. I haven't watched Paul McKenna before, because in the UK he used to do sort of a bit of a comedy type thing quite a long time ago, and then I just switched off from Paul McKenna completely. But this episode and some others I thought were profound, and one in particular, he was showing you how you talk to your subconscious, so your higher self and your mind, and you get your mind to start going from negative to positive and chatting to your higher self and they work out between them how they're going to make a positive outcome in whatever it is you've asked for. Could be anything in your life that's troubling you, you're not getting anywhere, blockage after blockage, you're not running anywhere, your relationship, your private relationship, your personal relationship, whatever, they might all be going wrong. You might find life in general just doesn't seem to be working out. I'm a self-employed person, and everything I've tried has just gone to nothing. It's been one big struggle for the last 20 years. I took my life out and I changed it myself. I knew it wasn't going to be very easy because I made myself a single parent with 2 young children. But it was either that or be nobody and possibly even kill myself. I was at that point. I had to go for counselling, I went for all sorts of things, but I wanted to get better and I wanted to learn. How did I get to a point when I didn't even know myself? In fact, I was terrified of everything, because I'd had a terrible relationship with my partner of 20 odd years. So I needed help. Went for counselling, and that was a breakthrough moment in lots of ways. It didn't rectify my life, but it made me look more and try to rationalise and think a bit more out of the box. Don't just put 2 people in as the players. Look at yourself from maybe 4 or 5 different aspects, what was going on. And basically what I found was you had to like peel an onion. You took a layer off and you have to break that layer down into 15 or 16 parts. I can explain it better, but you have 15 or 16 parts. That could be relationship with yourself, with your family, so that each one of those family members is a part. Friends, associates, going to work. How do you see work? What's your relationship with work? Does it work for you? And the list goes on and on and on in just that one area. And when you start healing yourself, which I've done since then, you heal bits. And healing for me is learning, understanding and helping. That's healing. And it takes a long time, and you have to be brutally honest. If you start shying away from it and thinking, oh, it wasn't me, it was someone else's fault, you've stopped. You're not going to get any further. And you might think, oh, I could bin that one, but you can't until you can name it and say, okay, and maybe I understand this better. Everything I do, I ask my higher self, well, explain a bit more. I understand. For me, I look at the cause, action and effect, because it's extremely important, but I don't always look at it as if it was me. I know that's what I've done or what I've been involved in. So now I need to see, how am I operating in those things? It's a lengthy process, and until I can uncover the real truth and get to the bottom of it, I can't get rid of it. Once I know what went on, how it went on, how I interpreted it and got it wrong, or actions that led to I've got lots of damage on my body. Maybe I was part of it. Well, I was certainly there, because obviously I'm the one that got a little bit injured from it all. But I've got to learn and understand it better, because I've never wanted it to happen again, and I've never allowed it to happen again. I've certainly never gone searching for relationships that were going to be detrimental to my well-being. I've come across things that I don't like, and I've stopped it. I'm just not going to go there. I've got to get this one body, which is this, from my head to my feet, well enough to keep me alive. It's fundamental to my well-being. I can't go and take another body, so this is it. So rock on, basically. I've got 20 odd years down the line now, and now I'm working on the mind a bit more. I've done lots of mind work, and the part I'm up to now is, are you working in my favour as a whole, not just for me personally, but as a whole of my body? Is my mind working in the favour? Is it negative towards what might happen in my life, or is it positive? And quite often it's negative. That's all my mind seems to understand, is negativity. How to injure myself and not be positive. So it's an interesting thing, but now that I'm in a sort of an in-depth conversation with every type of thought, and I can see how it's going to pan out. I've had an interesting, good old life. So I've got a lot of insights into all sorts of things. And I've worked in industries, different industries, and I worked with some of the best people in the world at the top of their game when I worked in different industries. So I've been very fortunate to work with exceedingly clever people, highly intelligent, and I have been extremely lucky, there's no doubt about it. So when I go and want to know more about why am I suffering this, or why do I keep hitting a hitting a wall, why I'm not getting on any further, I ask questions about it. And when I'm fed information into my head and I say, oh, okay, I'll look it up. And it's a lot easier now, because the internet, you just bash some words and figures in, and I get lots of algorithm type stuff and coding, and I look into it. And then out comes all this information, and I'm often blown away, because it's what I've asked about. But they're telling me from a more scientific side, maybe. And it really is fascinating. And I'm like, wow. I know my higher self and I are working in conjunction to make my life better. My mind, not so much. It's like, stops me. You don't want to do that. Why would you want to go there? Why do you want to talk to those people? Come on, I need to keep you safe. But keeping me safe hasn't kept me safe at all. It just cuts me off from people or work or whatever my mind wants to cut me off. Well, that's now stopped. And thanks to this Paul McKenna technique, which I practice constantly now, I haven't got that problem. In fact, I don't even get mind chatter anymore. My mind does not chat to me a load of old rubbish. That's gone out the window. And then when I'm about to do something, I say, well, mind, what would you think on this subject matter? And it all goes very quiet. And then I get some information. I go, now, would that be working for my highest good as a positive? Or would that be a little hint of, not sure, maybe we should hold back, maybe it's a bit early, maybe... I said, if you want to be positive, we need to be positive. And the other thing with this part of my journey, I've asked my higher self, my guides, I've got to this point, and I can see how damaging this mind chatting nonsense is all about. But also, I do know what it's like to have none of that and have no fear. I've never had fear in the spirit world, and I have done some amazing spirit work for guides and people or animals or trees. I get asked all sorts of stuff to do, going into places that I would never go to in this world as such. I've done some amazing stuff, really amazing stuff, and I never had fear before. But I'm saying, why is it then, so I can understand why humanity is constantly at war now and in fear. But I've said, along with many other healers who are like me, who can go anywhere and do anything on the spirit side, I can't wait now until humanity has no fear. So you won't have mind games going on. That mental mind game will not happen. People will start learning how to do it for themselves, because once you understand how to do it, and it's not really a secret, it's just that we have been taught that you listen to your mind. That's all wrong. Because your mind, which is the bit I'm up to now, asking the mind, why did it think that what it was doing was good to humanity? Because this isn't just my mind, all minds are connected. The energy of the mind is a massive collective, massive, humongously massive collective. So is your brain, but it's not connected to your mind. There may be aspects where scientists or whoever study that type of thing, neurologists would say they're similar, but they are not the same. Your brain has a lot more to do with your body, and it has a lot more to do with thinking out of the plan and being out there. Your mind can't do that. And I think somewhere along the line, the mind got separated from the brain and has twiddled its thumbs a little bit. And it's not saving you, it's saving itself. And saving itself is damaging, because one of the saddest things I've seen as the work I can do is that when people have asked me to help them, I've no idea what they've come for. I've had people around the world email me, ask other people when they've talked about me. They said, oh, that person you've just talked about, could you ask her to do me a favour? What's the favour? Oh, she'll know, just tell her my name. I don't know who the hell these people are, but when I tune in, I get imagery. And one of the imageries I get a lot from people who have asked is that their children have passed over too soon. And they want to know, are they all right? And in some of these, in all of the instances I've been asked to help on, they took their own lives due to the mind. And this is where I'm up to now when I'm talking to the mind, to find out what in earth made it think it could do that. And what I've seen with all of these people, which is just, I find it so upsetting, is that the mind plays these games. Do it, do it, do it, do it. People don't like you. People are talking about you. No one likes you. No one likes you. No one likes you. And in the end, the mind has imagery. The same as taking drugs calls. They alter an image till in the end, that image you believe in, it's not true. It's very damaging. And people take their lives because they can't see their own way out of what's happening. Because it's like a bully. These mind games are like bullies. They go on and on and on. They call it mental torture. And they go on and on and on. In the end, the people can't see their way out. They make a very rash decision in split seconds. They make a decision, and that's the end of it. But as that person then is literally dying, the outside of the body may be dying first. It's very hard to explain this, but the outside of the body is dying first. But the heart, the workings of the body, they're not dead. Then maybe the heart gives out. Once the heart gives out, I think technically you're dead. I'm not sure quite how the body works in that respect. But the rest of the body may still be pumping a little bit of blood around, the plasma's still working. Parts of the body are still alive. It all takes time. It's a bit like a computer. You turn it off at night, pull the plugs out. But capacitors and things like that are still red hot. If you put your hand inside, you could kill yourself. The thing is technically still on, although it's not plugged in anymore. Because there's a lot of energy to be discharged, and that's the same as your body. And at that point, your mind says, what the fuck? Shit. But it can't save you. It doesn't have the capacity to save you. It would have if it hadn't gone off the rails. If your mind hadn't gone off, and this goes for every single person on the planet, no one's any different, but people have learned how to work with the mind and stop these things happening. And the vast majority, I'd probably say 88% of the whole world has not. But that is going to change. And not everyone will have to work that hard to get where they have to be. Because it has to change. We haven't got long enough to faff around with people who don't believe in anything. We have to change the world rapidly, because things are going to change. It's like you're a mobile phone or you're a laptop, and it says upgrade, and then you get a message back from whoever made it and says you can't upgrade it, you've got to buy a new one. Well, you can't buy a new body. So to upgrade the body, lots of these things are going to change, and you're going to be catapulted from one state of being to a new state of being. And we're going to try, so there are quite a lot of people like me, we're all linking together, and we're trying our hardest to elevate people away from fear and put them into a safe housing. It's extremely a lot of energy. I've been extremely ill. I've been ill for quite a long time, but I'm extremely ill at the moment, and trying to keep me going, why I'm using a huge amount of energy. I can't explain how much energy my inner body works and my outer body is using. I'm a link of a massive amount of people. I wish I could say millions, but we're nowhere near millions. We might only be 1,000 people in the whole of the world. It's not that many people, but it's enough. And then we've all got guides. We work with medicine people who lived 100,000 years ago, past that, 1,000,000 years ago. So we're working with massive energies. But we're trying now to shut the mind, not down, because that's what caused its downfall in the first place, but to get the mind to elevate itself so that it will stop damaging people. Because enough's enough. You know, my whole life has been, I've had enough. I've had enough of the cruelty that goes on in the world. I've had enough of torture, beatings, war. It's wrong. It's fundamentally wrong. And I've had enough of it. And I am willing to use my spiritual worth to help raise everyone's conscious. I can't heal people on those levels. People will have to do something, because you won't go with the planet otherwise. If people think, oh, that's all right, they're all doing it for me, you won't go anywhere. We can raise you off so you can start to see a better future for yourself, and raise you enough up so you can see the world as it should be seen, because the world's going there. The world's already on its way. It's not going to stop for you, and I can assure you, because without this world, we are all dead. Without the planet we live on, we cannot survive, anyone. The soul can, but the human body can't. And you came here and were given a gift. And this time round, the soul is being locked into the human body, because we owe this human body a lot. I can't even tell you how much we owe this human body, but it is a huge amount, and it has to be paid back. So karma has nothing to do with you paying your human body anything back. Karma was a learning thing. That still will be around. But once you get, hopefully, to a position where you know you're shown, maybe given a month of being shown, this is what it feels like to be a human being living on Mother Earth and connected back to Mother Earth. Excuse me. Excuse me, that's what part of my illness is. I suffer very badly in my lungs. But with the help I get from guides and people like that, and obviously I do try and help myself to be well. I mean, I can't be healed by my guides, unfortunately. That's one of the downsides of doing this type of work when you're on the spiritual level that I work at. But I knew that when I came here. I had a purpose, and I've done it so far. In myself, I went back in my own body's history, this history of this one body that I possess. I went back to the very beginning of time when it first was conceived, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. That took me over 5-6 years to do that. And I was relentless. When I met people and all the rest of it, when you meet them, you have to ask permissions to go anywhere. You can't just walk in anywhere. And then they don't have to let you in. So you have to be of a certain, when you get there, can't have any fear. You're not going to pick anything up. You're just going straight in, can't judge. There's no judge coming into any of this. And when you're on those different levels, they'll allow you in, and then you learn stuff. And although we can write about it and help people with it and raise the thing up, most people never learn anything really of interesting fact if they don't do it themselves. But because the human being belongs to this planet Earth, and planet Earth is now knows that she's loved, and the mother of planet Earth and father have accepted her back. This planet's been out of existence for a long time, kicked out. Can you imagine that? People might wallow in, I'm the black sheep of the family. Will you imagine a planet that, because of the souls that were on it, became the black sheep of the whole universe and started to kill and destroy the human body that belongs to this planet? This planet is all about birth, creation, alive, living. That's what this planet's about. It's the only one. There are similar planets to this, even in our own system. But no one will come near us because we're a very dangerous planet. People will be nice, but then they kill people, harm them, want to control, and no one comes near us. We're like a leprosy colony. No one will come near anything here. But a lot of people like myself and many others came back and thought, no, enough's enough. Enough's enough. I mean, I'm sorry, I am fed up with it. Why would you want to have children and then they all go off and get murdered or go and murder other people? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You're killing yourself. There is, at the end of the day, although the body is made up of an awful lot of different energies, it is all connected. It's a continuation of two energies, male and female. They're the only two energies that there is in existence. All the others are part of it. So every time someone hates someone, you're hating yourself. Really? I mean, I find it one of the hardest things to cope with. People honestly hating themselves, trashing other people. Look in the mirror, I think. I look at people, look in the mirror before you throw the first stone. Have you been nut? You know, it's just awful. But we are changing that. We've got to change it, because there's still people on this planet who want to believe in how a mobile phone works, if they even understand it, and that's how you operate. And now we've got AI online. Yippee! That's all I can say to that. And that was formulated by you. Every single person on the planet helped the designers, amazing people, forging forward with AI. I mean, it's been around as soon as they built the first chip that could take on information and store it. It's been running, and then lots of developers have asked, can you do this with it? How can I make that happen? How can I make robots? How can I get this? And that's because your inside body that works, your heart, your heartbeat, your lungs, tissues, matter, tendons, you name it, I don't know what makes all the whole of the body up, threw it out there in the end so you can see how intelligent you are, how phenomenal you are, and how fast you work. If you've never used Chat GPT, I think it is, and you write something on there, and within moments it's back. Even an image is back. We couldn't conjure it up, but our bodies do that constantly. And AI is the same. It's the outside version of the inside version. It's super intelligence working at a phenomenal rate, and that's exactly the same as every single person on the planet. Phenomenal. So don't knock it. And when people say it will take over the world, well, look at the world at the moment. Is it great? For a lot of people, the world is absolutely awful. And the rest of the people, we all walk around thinking, well, it's not happening to me. Why should I worry? But the point is, there are lots of people suffering until we get the whole of the planet, literally the whole of the planet, learning no fear. And that is happening. It's coming into existence now. And this year is going to be accelerations in many aspects. There is going to be a lot of fear for sure, because lots of people won't want to change. The earth itself has to change. It's expanding. It's got to grow. We're a nano of the original planet. Look up nanotechnology and look to see how small a nano is of anything. What's a nano of a component to what it was in 1970, for instance? Or how small has a resistor gone from 1970 to now? They'll give you an idea how small this planet is to what it used to be. We have to go back there. So it's going to expand. There's going to be expansion. There's going to be a little bit of getting a bit smaller, maybe short of oxygen. It's going to be, but when I say short of oxygen, people won't be like that. It's just like a high altitude thing, because suddenly, without realizing it, the planet is going to grow. And as not one person on the planet can see the whole of it moving, so parts of it will get, the land mass will get higher, but it will look exactly the same. But it will have expanded. And that's going to happen again and again and again. It won't happen completely too fast. That might take another 50 years. But in 50 years' time, planet Earth will be almost the size it should have been. It is going to be exponentially phenomenal. And there will be lots of changes. And people will never be controlled again. In 30 years' time, the word control won't exist. People will share more, they'll talk more, they'll be able to talk over what, you won't use a mobile phone to talk, you'll use your head. And you'll be able to talk to anyone. You'll never think about it again, it'll just become second nature. You'll work, you'll play, you'll see people. There really are phenomenal designers, designing all sorts of things, men and women, changing the world, even as I'm talking now. It is going to be hugely exciting. But getting rid of fear and looking at everything as a learning curve, and how can I help? Can I change this? Can I alter this? Can I, something's gone wrong. What can I do? Can I save somebody's life? Have I got an opportunity here to do something? How can I alter it? My boiler's stopped working. Well, you phone up a boiler man. The water doesn't come in the house anymore. So you go and source it out. You chat to your neighbours and say, have you still got water? People naturally look at how they can get whatever's wrong right again. People will have more compassion. They'll have time for other people. And as the mind learns, relearns, and it's learning quickly, because the mind's now understanding that it's not helped anyone. And it really is starting to think, oh shit, I've actually killed people. The mind is now realizing it lives on a planet that only knows survival. It only knows about creation. This planet only knows how to keep things alive. Has no idea. Obviously people do die. They get caught up in storms, violent storms and all sorts of things. But that's the planet trying to replenish. Has to replenish ash. So it things get set alight. Whether that's made by natural causes or whatever. If it's natural causes, that's the planet's deciding it needs more earth, it needs more soil, needs more ash. Water moves great mountains of water, earth and stuff around, much more than a human could. Some of these awful disasters that happen are to move huge areas of water, or huge areas of earth. And we can't do it. We haven't got the facilities to do it. It would be nice to have the heads up maybe, so we could get people out and keep them safe. That would be phenomenal. But until people start to listen to the land again and watch the birds and the sky, everything starts to change. We'll have a better chance of that survival technique coming back in, and people will gather round and help people because that's instinctively built into you, to help people and to share and be kind. That is a normal human being existence, but we've lost it totally because we've got too many people who want more. They won't settle for less. They want to control. Money means nothing to planet Earth, but what does mean a lot to planet Earth is regrowing, growing trees, keeping things alive. Initially, when planet Earth was formed and thought about, every single thing on it was, there were no humans on it, everything was developed so it could grow from it and keep it alive. All the nutrients, all the minerals, the birds take different minerals to different places, and they learnt that they could take this berry and drop it there. It was poisonous to them. Then they'd go up to rock and sort of like sand stuff and put their beaks into it to get the stuff off, and it neutralizes the berries. They knew what to do. The information was there, because things need to move around. Plants need to carry on living, and air and oxygen. And then humans were developed only as the farmers of the world, to keep the world free of weeds, free of predators that get too big. And animals had a cycle of living where they would be all right. They could all live and get on, and if there was a little bit of a skirmish and all that sort of thing, it went on. But nothing major, never got out of hand. No animals starved. Everything lived in harmony, and people lived, and they built their own houses and cities, and they learnt new things, and they lived in harmony with plants and animals. Everything lived in harmony. But you could have your whopping great ship and float around the world in it if you wanted to. You could people helped you do it, because that's what they enjoyed. They didn't have to be coerced. People wanted to help, and that was normal. But something along the way got unnormal, and then once fear was put in, not inside the body particularly, got put on the top side. Let's say we've got 8 layers for the sake of arguments all the way around our bodies. I think it's about 7, but let's just say 8 for the sake of argument. And 3 of those layers from the top of your skin in started to fear inhabited. A fear and intrusion into your life. And once one person feared it, that spread out. Like anything, well, it's an energy. Until in the end, this nagging mind that should have been going, my God, we need to fight or flight and get out of this, wouldn't do that anymore. Instead what happened was people, the mind took over and just caused more damage and more damage and more damage, and that now needs rectifying. And we're putting it into the right place to help people so we can elevate, and we need to, because there's going to be a lot of movement and messing about going on the planet. And if people understand they don't want to be in fear anymore, and they're given the golden opportunity of finding what it feels like not to be, hopefully, it's a fingers crossed one here, they will change. Everyone's going to feel like this regardless, but it depends on what they believe in or what they want. And if they don't want to change, then they won't. But that has all been taken care of. There are categories coming into play to make sure they're separated from the people that do. Give them a chance to raise the new earth, live on the new earth and be part of it. If you don't want to go with the new earth, then don't go with it, it's fine. But there will be a split of 2 earths. That type of thing. But for the time being, it's all about getting people up, a leg up, on many levels. Some people are so dense, it's unbelievable. I mean, how could you live in density? I have no idea, actually, because I've been really ill getting this human body out of density and into a better life. And I've still got hundreds of questions unanswered, so it's going to take me a long time to dig around and try and find out what else is holding people back from getting on the ladder. There will probably come a time when lots of people like me will say, oh, enough's enough, for crying out bloody loud. They're not nursemaids, because those people don't act like nursemaids. Super rich, super greedy, super selfish, super spiteful. And after a while you just say, oh, do you know what, fuck them. Leave it behind. If they really don't want to change, why carry on with it? So some people may well get left behind, but I would advise most people don't. You have a huge opportunity coming up that you'd never have had, ever. People have sacrificed so much to get everybody to this level. It's immense. And they've all had, every single healer, like myself, has had to sacrifice many things to get to this point, to get the vibration to move enough and go round and heal the earth itself. That's healed now. She's held. She's looked after. She's being loved by her mother again and her father, so that's a bloody relief, to say the least. And humans itself are not far off it. The soul, I know there's loads of people out there that would say I'm wrong, but I work on this level, and I know a lot about the earth, I have to say, and I hugely know a lot about the body. But we have to get to the bottom of why did these things come in. And the mind isn't quite yet up to giving up the secrets. I've seen the people, so I'm a little bit nearer, but there'll be more questions to be asked, but that will happen as this year unfolds, I'm sure. Not just with me asking these questions, because as I'm thinking and asking them, that will be going around. I might be picking up someone else's energy who's also asking a different aspect to me. So if you can imagine 1,000 people, and we all have different aspects of life, because we all grew up differently, and we've all had different encounters throughout our body's entire history. So we're coming in on different angles, and we're asking the same questions but on different angles, because that's the only way you can actually heal something completely. And there are many people out there who, like Paul McKenna, for instance, who have been doing phenomenal work in their own way, getting people clearing things out, making them move on. And they'll be sought more and more and more, because people will see and think, do you know what, I like that feeling of no fear, and I'm not harming anyone, and I could have a really good life, but I do need to get rid of this mind chatter that tells me I'm not good enough, or, oh, you don't need to do that. Or it might say to you, hurt that person. Oh yeah, go on, they're no good. But all the time you're hurting someone else, you are physically going deeper into the hazy darkness. You'll never rise while you're harming someone. There's already two worlds. There have been two worlds for a long, long time. And some of the people in this second world, the dark world, although not all of it's dark, I have to hasten to add, they're not particularly the people you might want to be with. If you want to be with them, you're fine. And if you don't want to be with them, don't leave it too long to know where you stand. If you're still being nasty, you're still cutting friends off from other people, you're still being bitchy, spiteful, trashing people on the internet, think it's funny. There's only two places you can go. You can go up and go into no fear and be on the right side, or you can go across and down and go into a place where which is all fear driven except for the people who drive it. I'm going to rest it there, because most people need to get into something fantastic. I mean, the world is stunningly beautiful. There are fantastic places to go to. There are animals and sea creatures, and it's just phenomenal. And that's going to get bigger and better. Why wouldn't everyone want to be there? Some people have already made they've already decided where they want to be. And I've done soul rescue work and had to go into these areas, and they accept it. They accept their life. They're not coming out of it. They accept their life. And that's up to them. And it's good in some respects, because they actually accept their life, whatever that may be. But it's the pretense and the lies of people who stand there and pretend they're marvellous, but behind the scenes they're the most spiteful people there are. That isn't so nice, to be honest, but it's known about. You can't get away from it. It's all written all over you. And it's, you know, don't be damaging. Be kind, be considerate, have compassion, and never ever judge, because it's a dangerous place, judging. If you don't, no one can know everything about people. It's impossible. Some of the, what might seem to some people the weakest people, when it comes to saving lives, they'll rush in and go and save people's lives, where the others who are all, oh yeah, no, I'd do all that, when it comes to it, no, they would never do it. They wouldn't want to lose their life, maybe saving someone else's life. We just don't know what we're like. Pushed into terrible circumstances, not one of us knows what we're like, because we've never been there, so we have no idea how we would react. Would we be a goodie or would we be a baddie? People don't know until they're pushed into it, and then afterwards they have to live with their consequences. So it's well worth not judging, maybe trying to understand, to be helpful, to be positive, but don't let the mind tell you a load of old bollocks. Because the mind, or we're trying to, well, we know the mind's going to change because we've started working on it. There's a lot of us working on the mind now in a positive manner, making the mind realise itself. It's a living, breathing being, the mind. Hugely powerful, like anything else is. And when asked, would you rather kill something or would you rather see it live? It's astounded you'd even ask it that question. Astounded, because it's part of the human body. And the human body is part of the planet. And the planet's all about being alive and creation and birth. So it's a bit like, well, why would you ask me that? You know, everything's got to live. I'm part of life. I'm part of creation. Well, are you creating life or are you getting rid of it? Oh. Oh, I think I might have been getting rid of it. So is that positive or negative? I think that might be negative. What do you think needs to change now then? These are questions that I ask the mind. I'll ask it for anything. That's normally how I work as a healer. When I'm trying to help people. They've got to know where they've been going in the wrong path, or how did they feel when this was happening? What was causing that to happen? Did they think cause, action, effect? Did they think there was anything going to happen from what they were starting? You know, there's a lot to everything, but none of it's out of anyone's control. Anyone can do it. Ask questions. Ask yourself questions. And then see how you feel about it. Was it a positive? Were you helping create something within you? Were you learning something new? And was that learning going to help your body grow? And did you harm anyone in the process? You know, they're massive questions that most people would never want to go near, because most people haven't done that. In whatever walk of life that may be, for anything. But it is something that people do need to start thinking about. And although, as I say, you will all start to feel this amazing energy coming in, where everything is easier, everything flows well, you can't believe how well it flows. You can take it for granted. I wouldn't take anything in life for granted. Even my life I don't take for granted. And I certainly say thank you for everything. If you want to take it for granted and you've always done that, see how that pans out for you. But don't ever, if you take your life for granted, don't ever judge other people. Because if you're a person that takes your life for granted and everything you do, then you're always judging. Try not to go to judging, because you don't know how people view you or judge you. And then slowly people will stop judging when you don't judge yourself. It's an energy that emanates from you. People might hate you, and people might not like you. They're jealous of you, but, well, they've got to sort that one out. And that's something else that will happen this year. When people start judging other people, oh, I don't like that person, they'll know their karma will be swift. But what will happen is what will ever happen in your karma. I don't know how much people were built up in karma. That needs clearing by yourself. No one else can clear that. You have to clear it yourself. That karma, though, will take a while to clear, I would think. But I may be wrong on that. It depends on how much everything else moves along. So, being kind, being compassionate to yourself is paramount. Your body needs you to love it. It's given you life so far. It may have given you a brilliant life, in fact. You may be sitting in your house and you can't get over how good your life is. That came about because you're in a human body. And that human body gave you that. So love it. Love your body. Give yourself a big hug. Well done, body. Well done. So that's all I'm going to say for now. Look up lots of things that are going on. They're phenomenal. You know, different things on YouTube. The world will never be the same. It's never going to be the same again. Be part of it because you live on this planet. So that next year in your diary or your journal, if you make a journal up, do it for, keep the journals small because there's lots going on. They will have lots of different things happening. Tiredness, feeling out of sorts, all things. Journal it all down. Liken it to whatever the date is on that year, like the month, so you can refer back and see how much things have changed. You might find it works really well for you when you look at the moon cycles and things like that. And just get in touch with nature. Go out walking more often. Go and sit in the park. You know, just do things in nature. You don't have to do much. You don't have to walk. Just get out in fresh air. Anyway, see you soon. Bye.